All right. Good morning, Hyderabad. It's a true honor and pleasure to be here this morning to share one of the very interesting topics of a journey of a GCC and ease of doing business in Telangana. Before I get started, a quick introduction of myself. I'm Ravi Tangirala, head of Mass Mutual India. Just to give a little brief about our organization, Mass Mutual is a 172-year-old organization established in 1851 in Massachusetts, United States of America, essentially in the space of life insurance, D&I, and annuities business, and also got multiple subsidiaries across the globe and operating in various countries and supporting the ecosystem purely based on a fundamental philosophy called Live Mutual. As the name itself says, we are a Massachusetts-based company and worked with multiple vendors and partners across the globe. And when we came on board, we were tasked to establish a global capability center and take the initiative outside of US and establish a pure capabilities that can exist outside of United States. So that's a brief about our organization. Now, coming to this topic, when I was asked to pick between various topics around edutech, fintech, insurtech, and all that, the thought came into my mind and said, you know what, there are so many speakers that can speak very well about that, but one of the young GCCs that established during the pandemic, I said, why don't I share my story as a use case and essentially support and help the young and energetic entrepreneurs to learn from some of our journey and take this as an example to essentially go to the next level in their journey. So today, I'm going to talk about what did we do and how did the journey start and where we are, followed by what enabled us to get to where we are today, and how the ecosystem supported us to make sure we could achieve what we wanted to achieve, and also some of the learnings that I can share with you. Be cautious about elements in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So back in 2019, we decided to establish our global capability center in two countries, Romania and India. Choice was very easy based on the capabilities and the energy that exists in both parts of the world. And we took our own time to do the initial due diligence and decided Hyderabad as the destination in India. And in December of 2019, we got our name, Mass Mutual India. And while we were going through the whole due diligence aspect, we realized that being in an SCZ will get us a lot of tax benefits and breaks for the next 15 years. And we said, you know what, let's go establish an SCZ. But we never realized that it's a process that has 153 steps before you can start the business, and never realized it's very tedious. And also, to add a cherry on the top, there was a sunset clause for the whole SCZ, I should say the feature, by March 31st of 2020. So I literally had a 3 months runway to establish this entity and get to the running state. And I still remember January 6th, I was in Delhi signing boatload of papers saying that, okay, I really want to get this thing done. If somebody told me that I literally had 2 months and 21 days to set this up, and with the 172-year-old legacy, there is a lot of regulations that we have at state, federal, and international level. that ensures that we don't do anything crazy, and we have to be cautious. We need to ensure that the brand name won't get tarnished. And I was told that you really have to be very careful while you're running at a 200-mile speed. And long story short, within 2 months and 21 days, we went from paperwork to payroll. And after that, we started growing. Our initial targets were very minimal. We said, well, let's stick to a small number and one floor in one of the facilities in Nanakram Guda, and started our recruitment efforts, and then went into a facility build-out. One thing that we did is we said, let's do things differently. We don't need an enabler who does everything for us. Let's do everything on our own. And whether it's facility build-out, whether it's identifying the right partners, whether it is interacting with all the agencies to make this happen, we took everything on our own and did everything on our own. It literally took us 3 months to start our construction work or the build-out effort and finish it within 3 months. We took 2 months to finalize the designs and literally took like 3 months to finish the facility. And after that, we started our operations in our own facility. And today, fast forwarding like 2 years, we multiplied our facility, our staff, and budgets 4 times, which is a very, I would say, I'm very proud of. So this cannot be done without a wonderful ecosystem that can support us from all facets. I still remember we had 4 cities that we were supposed to tour around and do the evaluation, go through the checklist, and talk about which city is good, where should we go, and submit a report. We came to Hyderabad, we saw everything, and we went out of Hyderabad back to US. There was no looking back, and we decided on Hyderabad within few days of our journey. So what did we do apart from establishing the entity? We completed all the 153 sequential steps to get to a completion state, and we had to work with 30 different internal and external agencies and entities to get this job done. And the middle of this entire journey, we were told that the whole world is going to go into a lockdown mode because of COVID. It was not funny because the fag end of our journey was very, very difficult. And we got a lot of support from so many well-wishers to make this journey possible. And there is a lot of perception around, we need to spend a lot of money to make these things happen. But I can proudly say we spent $0 to expedite anything on the ground. And we had 0-day issues. And also, the only check that we wrote is to our legal team to make sure the incorporation process is done. So that's what we did. And being a Fortune 100 companies with a great reputation, we were able to do this in this land of Telangana. Now, let's talk about what is the unique offerings that this state and this city provided us. First and foremost, the best-in-class infrastructure to support the operations and resiliency. Any corporation that wants to come in will first focus on one thing, the cost of living and the cost of lease, because that's a key driver. Hyderabad happens to be Tier A city with very less cost of execution, cost of living, compared to any other city that we have in the same level. And one beauty is this city has a lot of planned corridors for the growth. Right now, we are in the western part of the city, and they have a lot of focus on the eastern side, northern side, as well as southern side, and making sure the city grows in all directions. And it's truly commendable on the teams that have put all these things together, which is enabling companies to distribute and not create any congestion in multiple aspects. And also the connectivity. I don't need to talk about all the features that we have, including metro, MMTS, and the upcoming elevated bus rapid transportation system, all the new roads that are being built, and the extension of metros and whatnot. This is actually creating a wonderful movement of people that is enabling the entire city to grow in all corridors, and Outer Ring Road, which is connecting all the primary spots of the city, is helping a lot. And the next aspect is from the employee's perspective, whether it's healthcare, their housing, the pollution, the happiness index, all these things matter a lot for any corporation to establish their facility in Hyderabad and in Telangana. And the other important element is the ecosystem. When you establish an entity, you need a lot of support organizations like facilities management, transportation, security, housekeeping, whatnot. You have wonderful models that have been established in this city where you can literally take it off the shelf and implement it in your organization. The next one is resiliency. When the entire world went into this lockdown situation, the state and city went into work from home from a traditional office working culture within no time, I would say within weeks. And organizations never had time to think to make this switch happen, and it was very seamless. That's a very classic example of how the resiliency aspect works in this land. The next important aspect is a strong, welcoming, and collaborative culture. When I came to this city, I'm truly shocked. I worked with World Bank in my past life. I have worked with many countries and cultures. I have not seen the ecosystem that exists in Hyderabad anywhere else in the world. Talk about HICIA, talk about NASCOM, talk about AmCham, talk about SCSC, talk about Hyderabad FinTech Forum, and also so many other organizations that essentially welcome you with an open heart and warm hands, and they are there to support you. And all the partnerships that we have established, I get to hear one consistent message. We are there for you, with you, by you, and we'll bend backwards to make sure you never fail, and we'll ensure that you are successful. I have not experienced this in any other city, and that's the beauty of this land, and I'm sure you'll appreciate that. The next element is the workforce. The large, diverse, and skilled IT and IT-enabled services workforce. You'll be surprised to hear that we have around 1,600 plus entities in this city alone. Almost 135 to 150 GCCs, the Global Capability Centers, with little over 800,000 workforce in the IT and IT enablement services sector. We have an excellent integrated IT ecosystem that helps to source all these people into the workforce. And I'll talk about all the other initiatives that we have in the state that enables us to get to the workforce that we need for our organizations. And in terms of work, anything as a service can be executed from Hyderabad. We started with a key focus on IT, but we have almost 18 different functions that are in action from Hyderabad. And that's a true evidence of the system where you can start with one and expand into multiple areas. The diversity. The gender diversity is very big compared to any other place that I have seen. The women in the workforce, the numbers are really huge. And it may be a small thing for you guys to hear, but it's big when it comes to the corporate culture. And Hyderabad is becoming a popular destination because of its geographical location and it's attracting talent from both north and south. And also, it's a top 3 attractive destination for a lot of young talent that is getting commissioned into the workforce. The next element is best-in-class education. We have 20,000 elementary schools, 7,000 upper primary, and hundreds of colleges that is giving out almost 210,000 graduates every year, out of which almost 30 to 40,000 engineers are coming out every year in Telangana. And we have Telangana Academy of Skills and Knowledge that is enabling us to bring this workforce from the remote locations and commissioning them into the workforce at free of cost. We have institutions like IRDA, IARM, IBRBI, which are giving us the functional-oriented knowledge and functional areas, the domains where we can consume the knowledge as well as skills. We have very prominent educational institutions like IIT Hyderabad, IIIT Hyderabad, ISB, IBS, NALSAR, giving a diversified workforce that can be commissioned into the industries from day one. And needless to say, there are a lot of academies and societies that are encouraging the tribal and rural talent and helping them to get connected to industry and getting deployed in the industry by creating these bridge programs and courses. The next important element is the local support, tools, and the ecosystem. Telangana is one of the very few states that I have seen in India where we have very approachable government and bureaucratic system. The ease of doing business, Hyderabad and Telangana has been ranked number 2, and it's truly evident in multiple cases. And they have created large amounts of land banks for the companies to establish their campuses and offices across the city and in multiple other locations in the state. And I think I have not seen IT and IT-enabled services as the essential service like what we have in Telangana in any other place. And it's really, really important for companies that are providing their services throughout the globe and have that in place in terms of situations where we can't really send our workforce or there is a situation where you can't afford to lose the time and deliver something and send the workforce to work. The next thing is a lot of incentives around like tax breaks, power discounts, water, and all the other schemes are there for us to consume and get the benefit out of. They also created a lot of initiatives like T-Hub, TSI Pass, Fiber Grid, WeHub, Task, TSIC, T-Works, T-Wallet, and a lot more. And they are all there for industries to consume and get benefit out of. The next one is progressive local policies. With a single window clearance, they enabled us, a lot of companies, to start their businesses within 15 days. Initially, I thought it was a joke, but if you don't get your permissions within 15 days, you are entitled to start your business, considering that you got the approval. And they have created a lot of IT-friendly policies, like ICT, data center policies, open data, cybersecurity, and whatnot, to make sure they create scenarios and situations where people don't need to worry about stringent policies from the state. And also, they have expanded the IT and IT-enabled services to the second and third-tier cities like Khammam, Warangal, Nizamabad, and all that, where they are getting the talent from different areas and ensuring that the talent is being used and they are put into commission. Vibrant startup and innovation culture. I don't need to say, we have heard from the young entrepreneurs on the stage, especially all the activity that's happening in T-Hub and Hyderabad FinTech Forum and entities like that. It's truly commendable on what's happening in the startup culture. And last but not least, it's an expat-friendly city and the state. Anyone who's coming from a foreign culture and atmosphere for their families and for themselves, this city provides everything that they need so that there is no difference in their lifestyle. So these are all the things that we have observed. And key takeaways, what I want to bring up in less than 1 minute is we have and had several challenges throughout the journey, but nothing stopped us to be where we are. One thing that I want to end with is nothing is impossible in this state. If you have a strong will, you can make it happen. And please don't Google. Come here and mingle with people to understand the city and the state better. And there are a lot of well-wishers and leaders that can welcome you, help you get established, and make sure you are successful, your teams are successful, and your organizations are successful. I sincerely thank time management team for this opportunity, and I wish you all the very best, and thank you.